time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hyperfixation Time. I'm Erin.
And I'm Danny.
We've been best friends since the second day of kindergarten, and this is the podcast where we drag each other and you down the rabbit holes that we can't stop thinking about. So each week, one of us brings a surprise topic to the table, and together we dive into the weird, the wild, and the wonderfully random. From interesting animals to macabre mysteries to just curious human behavior, nothing is off limits. And we're learning right along with you. So let's catch up and jump into this week's Hyperfixation.
I hope that y'all enjoyed our new podcast jingle. That should hopefully
Whoop,
be
whoop.
at the beginning of this episode.
That we haven't heard at this time of recording yet,
Yep.
but
We should have
are
it
excited
tomorrow.
for.
I'm very
Yes.
excited.
Yeah, basically we kind of got pinged for the music that we were using before, so bear with us as those old episodes may or may not have that music in the beginning and the ending, but we are excited that we've essentially hired somebody to create like a specific one for us that we can use.
And if you recognize her voice, she is the TikTok channel called Zoozicle, where she makes these little like jingles all about animals and they're like educational, which is I feel like very fitting for our podcast too. So it's pretty cool. I feel like it'd be really fun if she like blows up and then it's like, yeah, we had Zoozicle write our podcast jingle. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I know. When
She
you
already
said
is
that she was
fairly
on
big.
TikTok, I was gonna say you said that she's pretty big on TikTok. So yeah, trust her. I
Yeah.
hope- I'm sure it'll be great. I'm excited about it too. We have our own little.
Yeah, hopefully it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. I
That's
like
one
the
of
other one though. It's so catchy. I get
oh,
that one stuck in my head a lot.
the
Like
just like the
the
tune. Oh, that one's never been stuck in my head, but I did enjoy it.
what? Okay, well, we should have talked about that. No, just kidding.
I need some words for it to get stuck in my head, I feel. I don't
I
know.
know. That's fair. That's fair. Well,
Oh, so
I
sorry.
want.
Oh, you have
Oh,
something you
go.
want to say? Sorry. So sorry,
There is
sorry.
some. There's something that I want to say just because
Okay.
it's. I kind of was curious about your opinion on it too.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow is mine and PJ's 12-year dating anniversary, which is
Wow.
insane.
That
Do
is.
you guys celebrate that? Like, do you guys
No, I
have a
have no
dating?
idea when that is. Like, I mean, like, I know the
Really?
general time period, but it's not like there's like a day where it's like, this is when we started dating. I don't know.
Really? Okay. Because, I mean, we were together for so long before we got married that we're just
Right.
like used to having this date be our normal date.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, do we do something or do we just celebrate our wedding anniversary from now on? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious what you and Dwight did, but
Yeah,
we're not sure.
I would just go with your wedding anniversary if I was. I mean, I guess I would just pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one or
Just
the
pick
other.
one?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, the other thing that's kind
Seems
of
like a
nice is
lot.
that I know, but the other thing that's kind of nice is that this one's in November and our wedding
Mm-hmm.
anniversary is in April. So it's kind of spread out good enough
I
that
see.
like and I mean, we don't do anything crazy
Yeah.
typically. It's usually just like going out to dinner. So I'm like, well, you know,
I mean, okay, yeah, like celebrate whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like if you're just
totally.
have a nice little dinner, like, and that's your reason for going, like, great, that's wonderful. You know,
Okay. Yeah,
there's
I
nothing wrong
appreciate
with
your
it.
opinion.
Hmm.
I mean, I always like an excuse to go out to dinner, so
Yeah, exactly.
why not, I guess. But I think we're not going to go out until this weekend, I think, is the plan. So, yeah, 12
Cool.
years. Why-
Congratulations.
That's insane.
A whole
That's a
12-year-old
long time.
is.
I mean, our dog is 11. Yeah, so
Oh yeah, that's crazy too. Oh, so my little update for you
yeah.
is that I know that we're outside of like the spooky episodes now, but
Yeah.
they had long-lasting impacts because I keep having dreams where ghosts are real. And it's like I find out in the dream, like I see a ghost and it's like, damn it, they're real. And it's like
Erin
a
was
terrifying,
right.
well, it's not even that.
No, I'm
It's
just
like
kidding.
this
I know.
terrifying thing where it's like, no, like my life is ruined now because I've seen the ghost.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
it's happened multiple times.
At least you haven't seen the Hat Man, have you?
No, no Hat Man.
Okay. Knock on wood right now, because
Yeah.
no thanks. That's, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that it would impact you that much.
I know, my subconscious is thinking about it.
But we had so many in a row, so I guess it does kind of make sense. Sorry.
It's all good.
At least it's just a dream. Or would you call that a dream or is it a nightmare? or somewhere in
I mean, I
between?
would say a nightmare. Yeah, like I feel like it was something that I woke up from and it was like, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was trying to think of a word in between a dream and a nightmare, like brunches, because it's not quite breakfast and lunch. But then I was like, night dream. There's nothing good that would work. What else?
Nightmare.
Dream, nightmare, dream mare,
Dright, Drightmare. I don't know.
drightmare. Yeah, dream mare, dream mare. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, do you have a microfixation of the week?
Yeah, so we're going back to talking about TV shows.
All
I gotta
right.
tell you about one.
Okay.
So it's like a show that I watched on Netflix. I watched the first season when it came out in 2020. Was obsessed with it. And then just for whatever reason, never watched the next season that came out, even though I was literally obsessed with this show. And now there's 3 seasons and it's criminally underrated. I finally started going back and it's called Sweet Tooth. Have you ever watched that?
No, I haven't
Okay.
even heard of it, I feel
You
like.
have to watch it, Erin. I know that I'm
Okay.
always giving you recommendations for things, but like literally you have to watch this one. It's
Okay.
mandatory for our friendship, okay?
Okay. Oh God. Oh God. This just got very serious. Do I have to sign something to commit to? Okay. I already have that other one with my other friend that she's like, you have to
Wait,
watch
which
this.
one?
I'm like,
Again?
the one that I was saying
Those
that has,
French or whatever?
yeah, I think it's in Swedish when I looked it
Okay.
up later. Yeah. And I haven't kept up with that. Sorry,
Okay.
Emily, but okay. What's this one like
Okay,
general premise?
so Sweet Tooth is about it came out in 2020 and it felt very fitting at the time because it's basically about a pandemic situation that happens. But at the same time as this virus gets out and unfortunately kills a lot of people, changing, the whole world and how the whole world works. At the same time, every single baby that's born is born as an animal hybrid. And so, like, the main character is this kid who he's like a kid, but he's also a deer. And so he's got like antlers and like little deer ears, and all these kid hybrids are so cute. And the whole show is like very beautiful, like very artsy, it's very cinematic, beautiful filming, and like the soundtrack with it is perfect, and the characters, you just fall in love with the characters, which is amazing because it's so heartwarming and you just love them, but it's also heartbreaking. Like every single episode is heartbreaking. And
Aw.
yeah, that's why I actually had a hard time going back to it, because it was just kind of like, do I feel like having my heart ripped out? You know what I mean?
I'm
Sometimes
like,
you have to be in the right mood for that, and it took me a couple years to get there.
that's fair. Because I was just thinking, I'm like, it's getting dark out much
Yeah.
earlier now, and I'm getting used to that. Do I want to be
It's like,
heartbroken? But I'm sure it'll be more
yeah,
heartwarming. Like if
it
it's
is. It's more heartwarming than heartbreaking, I would say.
okay.
It's not like I'm sobbing every episode or anything like that. I'm
Yeah.
definitely get teary-eyed, but it's so freaking good.
So good.
And it
Okay.
has a lot of like political undertones as well, that feel very relevant to a lot of situations happening today and throughout
Yeah.
history, unfortunately. But I know you would love it.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it. Actually,
I
can you, I need to write it down or else I'm
Sweet
gonna
to
forget.
tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
And yeah,
And
like
there's
I said,
three-
it's
three
criminally
seasons?
underrated. Yep, I'm currently
Okay.
on the second season.
Okay. All right. I'll do it. And if I don't do it, then what happens? What's the
This
outcome?
podcast comes to an end, and everybody, you're gonna have to get on Aaron's case because we're no longer talking. No, I'm just kidding.
If there's not a next episode, you guys know why.
Yeah. It's your microfixation.
Okay. Do you want a candy one
Ooh.
or like a life one?
I'm so curious. Let's go with life.
Okay. No, that's good. I was kind of torn between them, so
Okay.
I needed you to make the decision for me, of
The
course.
candy one is Joyride. I'm just kidding. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
was Joyride's really good. Maybe I'll save the candy one for next time.
Okay, okay.
Because I'll still be hyperfixated on them then.
There you go.
But the life one is that having a pilot brother-in-law is amazing because I've finally was able to use what they call the buddy pass. And we were having a family weekend this past weekend in Michigan where my sister and brother-in-law live. And I was able to fly for pretty cheap. Granted, it's standby, so it's kind of like you gotta hope that they have an extra seat open for you, but
Gotcha.
you can see the numbers, so you can kind of take your best guess. But it's called, yeah, buddy passes. I think that by the end of the year he won't have this anymore. But
Mm,
I put in a bid for next year that there's something similar that I would like to have, so I can fly
mhm.
for cheap
Nice.
in places. So it worked out so nice. The airports I was going to are smaller, so it
Hmm.
wasn't like I took a crazy big risk on, something. So it
So
worked
what
out
would you
really
say
nice.
you're hyperfixated on? This buddy system?
Yep. I just
Okay,
want all the cheap plane tickets, basically.
cool.
That's it.
Sweet. Well, did you have fun in Michigan?
Yes, I did.
That's
Yeah, it was
great.
a good time. Good family time, good niece and nephews,
Your guys'
nieces and nephews.
your guys' K-pop Demon Hunter costumes were adorable.
That was so fun. Katie, my sister Katie was roomie, and she was like the highlight of every little kid
I
around
bet.
us. They were like obsessed with her. And I kept going, and I'm Mira. But it
I
was
could
just,
just like picture little kids looking at you, just dead face, like,
yeah.
okay.
It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I was like,
Yeah.
Katie, you should be a Disney princess or, like a birthday party performer or something like
Oh, that would
that.
be
So,
funny. I could see that.
yeah, we could do it. Anyway, yeah, no, it was a good weekend.
All right, you ready to get into it?
I'm ready. So,
Okay,
is your shirt a clue?
it is.
I asked this
I also have
before.
another clue
Okay.
in the room above my head.
Is it Pitties?
It's Pitties,
Oh,
Pitbulls, bam, 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 bam. So to show off
nice.
my shirt, this is a really old shirt. I got this in, I think, 2017 or something. But I've always loved this artwork. So it says like
I
lover. You got one of these? It's a
I
very popular artist.
I have a notebook that has that exact same picture on
Okay.
it that somebody gave me.
I also have a blanket that has this on it. But it
Oh my
says,
God.
what does it say? Lover not a fighter, kisser not a
You're
biter.
not a biter. Oh my
In case
God.
you're, curious what my opinion of pit bulls are, it's that.
Oh. Yes, absolutely as well. Not Mr. Worldwide. It's the
Yes.
dog, Pitbull.
Don't get it twisted. It's funny, I was gonna make that joke myself, damn it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Stole your thunder.
No,
Stole
I
your
love it.
thunder.
We're on the same page. All right, so pit bulls are a breed of dog. Well, it's not a breed of dog. I'm going to get into that. But why am I talking about pit bulls today? I love them with all my heart. I love dogs so much. Pit bulls are, one of the underdogs, I would say, just based on their reputation in society. And so how I really began to love pit bulls so much is I've already mentioned on the pod that I worked at the Dane County Humane Society for a while. Would you say you have a favorite dog breed?
It's so tricky.
Oh yeah, there's a million.
There's a million, and then there's mixes of all those
Yeah.
millions. I would say Pitbull is my favorite if I had to.
Why are we so freaking similar? Because I was just thinking, I know one of your others, which is my also other, which we've talked about.
Australian
What?
Australian
No.
cattle dog. Oh,
No,
oh, and
not
the
Australian
Iggy.
cattle dog. Yeah, Italian greyhounds. That's the one dog that if I had to pay $1,000 for, it would be an Italian greyhound.
100%. They are the weirdest little
I
cutest
love
things.
them.
But Evie was also a cattle dog mix, wasn't she? Cattle
Yeah, so
dog
that's what
pitbull.
the shelter said. So,
Yeah.
for some context, really quickly,
Sorry.
above my head is a picture of Evie. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know I've mentioned her a few times. I got a tattoo of her on my arm here as well. So she's my dog that passed away, and actually that picture above my head you drew for me
I did.
after she passed. So,
Yeah.
anyways, she was likely a pit bull mix, but the shelter that I got her at said that she was a lab cattle dog mix, which made it my life a lot easier having her in an apartment.
Yeah, do you want to talk about how they try to do that as much as possible?
Like how apartments will ban pit bulls and stuff? Or
No,
what do you
like
mean?
how shelter staff. I shouldn't say that they try to. They are honest about it.
Yeah.
If it's a pit bull, it's a pit bull. But we all know that they have a bad rep, and Ellie was the same way. She was labeled. We didn't technically rescue her from a shelter, but she was still labeled to us as a cattle dog lab mix, and she
Yeah.
definitely has zero lab
Exactly
in
the same.
her. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was easy. Yeah, exact same. You're right.
Different order. Same thing.
Yeah, goddamn.
That's
So
funny.
interesting.
I know. Yeah, no, and that worked out really well for us. And I'm actually going to get a little bit more into that because that was when I lived in Denver and blah, blah, blah. There's a giant pit bull ban in Denver, and I'm going to get into all of that. But
Yay.
my history with pit bulls, like when I started to really be like aware of them more and fall in love with them was when I worked at the Dane County Humane Society. Before then, I always loved dogs. I don't remember a time where I didn't love dogs. That sounds insane. That's part of my personality.
I feel like I don't trust people that don't like dogs. I'm like, well,
Oh,
then
it's
I
a
don't
huge
like
red
you.
flag. Yeah.
Yeah,
I literally,
for sure.
side note, I don't understand how that can be a thing, like how you can just not like dogs. And I
Yeah.
feel sad for them because how much joy has been taken from your life for not being able to love dogs. They bring me just so much happiness and joy. Like if you scroll through my TikTok, half my TikTok is just dogs,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, what did they do to you? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I
Were you gonna
shouldn't say
say
that
like
either
if
because
like somebody got injured by a dog, like yeah, I would
injured by a
understand
dog
why they're gonna
or,
be fearful of them, but that's pretty much it. So when I worked at the Humane Society, I worked at a summer camp, and I was the first summer there. I was one of the camp counselors, and one of the other camp counselors, he had a pit bull named Ellie, and she was kind of my first like experience, with pit bulls, and he really enjoyed bringing her in at the end of the day, and basically Ellie would just go and run around with all of the kids and play with them, and like he liked that because that was when the parents were coming to pick up the kids, and then it would kind of show the parents like pit bulls are not to be feared. They can be totally trusted with kids. They're actually really great with kids, and so I of course fell in love with Ellie too because everybody did. And then after that, I was still at the Humane Society, and I was doing an internship there, and so I would spend a lot of time in the offices, and a lot of times they'll take dogs that like are a little bit more scared of being in the kennels.
Kennels.
Yeah, kennels. And they'll put them like maybe in an office with somebody where it's like a little bit more quiet and like peaceful. And so I got Herman for like a week, and I fell in love with Herman, and he was a little pit bull, and I 100% would have adopted him, but I was just not in a place in my life where I could adopt a dog.
yeah.
I just fell in love with Herman so much. And then there was Sasha, who shortly after this period of time, Sasha belonged to my now husband's old roommate's brother.
Okay.
And they were watching Sasha for like a weekend. And so at the time, obviously, I spent a lot of time at that house. And so I got to partake in watching Sasha for the weekend. Fell in love with this dog. Like, she was just so smart, so friendly. One of the funniest things that ever happened was she was like in Dwight's room, and she was like staring at this bookcase, and she was whining. And we were like, "What do you want, Sasha? Like, what is going on?" She would not let it go. She was just whining and whining, staring at this bookcase. And we're like trying to figure out what on earth is going on. And finally, so she's like looking at these movies, like these DVDs. And so I like pulled the DVDs out. There was a tennis ball behind the DVDs. She grabbed the tennis ball and ran. Like, Dwight didn't even know he owned a tennis ball.
How did she know it was
Well,
back
she could
there?
smell it.
She smelled it.
Yeah,
She sniffed
that
it out.
literally
Oh,
killed me. I could not stop laughing about it.
that is hilarious. He's like, how did that get there?
So, anyways, like these dogs all personally made me fall in love with pit bulls, but just in general, they're obviously at shelters quite a bit. So, when I was working there, you'd see a lot of pit bulls, and they just always look so happy. There's this, on my tattoo, Evie's smiling, the picture of here, like on my shirt, that pit bull is smiling. Yeah, like they just are, they just always look so happy, and the spot, like on their forehead, how it kind of like divots in.
Yep.
I always call that the kissing spot because it's like
Yes.
when you give them a kiss, like your chin just fits perfectly right in there.
The perfect little spot. We do the same thing with Ellie. Yep. That's so
sweet.
funny.
And then, so then obviously I got Evie, and we got her in, what year was it? 2018? 2017? She was at the shelter in Castle Rock, and we were looking for a dog at the time. I wanted a pit bull so badly, but like, Denver has a pit bull ban. Plus, our apartment had a pit bull ban. And
Shoot.
so I saw her on the website, saw that she was, a lab cattle dog mix, and I was like, bingo, let's go. So we drove all the way down to Castle Rock and just fell in love with her. She was perfect. That was our sweet little baby girl.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a lot about like personal pit bull stuff. Do you have any
No.
personal pit bull stories you want to share?
Yeah, so I will say I used to work at a shelter too, or two different ones. And while there were pitties that, wouldn't be the best for like younger kids or something like that,
Hmm.
I met way more Chihuahuas,
Hmm.
Husky. Like, it's not breed, it's how they're raised, is my opinion.
Right.
And yeah, I think that also the other thing that one of the reasons why I actually left one of the humane societies was because pit bulls had only one chance. You had to be good with other dogs and other people, and if you weren't good with one or the other, then they wouldn't be able to be adopted.
Mm.
But if it was a golden retriever or a lab mix or something, and they weren't good with dogs, but they were good with people, then it was fine. They
Oh,
were able to be, yeah. So
I
that
see.
makes me sad that they have like
They're discriminated against.
yes, exactly, discrimination for sure. So,
So yeah, I'm gonna get into all that. So what is a pit bull exactly? So it's not just, a pit bull is not a breed. It's a group of dog breeds. So it's like an umbrella term for several different types of breeds. There's American Pit Bull Terrier, American Staffordshire Terrier, Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and American Bully. And then 98% of all pit bulls actually have a mixed breed heritage. So like 98% of, if you think of a pit bull in your head, 98% of them are not even one of those breeds that I just mentioned. It's just a
right,
mixed breed dog, like our
exactly.
dogs.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, when you think of a pit bull, what are their common traits? They're short coated, they have that wide skull, a powerful jaw, muscular, stocky body. Their weight range can range quite a bit from like 24 to 130 pounds, just depending. Some have bulkier frames with big skulls, and some have leaner, muscular bodies. And then, what's the history of a pit bull? So, in the early 1800s in the UK, there were Old English bulldogs, which are very similar to what you would picture as like an American bulldog today, which again, that's not a pit bull, that's a totally different breed of dog, just for anyone that might be confused.
Yeah.
And so during this time period, there was a thing called bull baiting. And this is a trigger warning for a little bit of animal cruelty, just so you know.
Okay. Okay.
Anyways, so bull baiting was where like bulldogs were set to harass a bull for like hours on end until the animal either collapsed just due to fatigue or from injuries.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then in 1835, the British Parliament created the Cruelty to Animals Act, which prohibited the bull baiting.
All right, good.
So that was illegal now. But
Wow.
unfortunately, as you know, a lot of like dog fighting practices and other types of animal cruelty are still happening today. So after this was prohibited, it was kind of hard to do like under the radar. I mean, it's kind of hard to have like bulls under the radar. So
Just hiding my bull.
yeah, they used smaller animals. So this is where they started what's called ratting. And so this is where they put a bunch of dogs in a pit to see who could kill the most rats in the least amount of time.
Oh,
And this is
poor
actually where the
rats.
pit in Pitbull comes from.
I was just gonna, yeah, okay, so pit and bull. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
didn't realize. Wow.
I know we learn so much on this podcast, don't
We
we?
do. I know.
And so yeah, again, this ratting and dog fighting were just like a little bit more hidden from view. And this is when they started mixing bulldogs and terriers. And so that's where pit, bull, terrier comes from.
Dang, mind blown. Did not know any of that.
And so at this time, these pit bull terriers were really bred for their determination in battle and like their ability to kill small rodents. But they were not bred for biting humans. And in fact, they were actually bred to be very friendly with humans because they needed to interact with humans to get them into the cage and everything. And like, it's not going to be helpful for the person that's handling that dog if they're getting bit by the dog. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
if they were bit by one of the dogs, they would actually be called out. They wouldn't
Right.
be used for breeding.
Yep. Question.
Yes, what is the
And
question?
maybe you will get to this, but and so sorry if I'm jumping ahead, but
No, you're fine.
didn't they used to use pit bulls as like they were like known as like nanny dogs, like they would take care of kids almost, like kind of be the protector of kids in that way, not in like a they wouldn't necessarily injure anybody because like to protect the kid, but they were they were just considered like nanny dogs.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
I have heard that before, and I was very excited to include that information in my research today, but unfortunately, I actually learned that's a myth. They were not.
No.
I know. So, and I was going to mention that too later on, is that that's one of the myths.
Oh,
That basically, like, they are really good with kids, so like that part is not a myth. Like, it is true,
okay.
they are really good with kids, but the idea that they were once a nanny dog is misinformation that was spread.
Wow. I'm sad
Yeah.
now.
I know,
I've been telling people the wrong stuff.
I've shared that too. Now you can tell them the truth.
All right.
You
Yeah.
can say pit bulls are still awesome,
But
but
they're still
they're
awesome.
not nannies.
They were not nannies. All right.
But basically, just kind of going back to the breeding, like this is why pit bulls typically like love humans, is because they were actually bred to be like good with humans, you know? And it's
Yeah.
also why it's really important to socialize pit bulls early on in their lives, because they were bred to like hunt small animals and be fierce towards other animals. And so if they get that socialization really early on, then that can be, you know, prevented a little bit more, but that's why it is so important. So I just want to put that
Absolutely.
out there. This
Yeah.
episode is not to spread any misinformation. I'm trying to
Yes.
do my due diligence in research and not be biased, because this one would be
Absolutely.
really easy for me to be biased. Like, pit bulls are
Yeah.
amazing and I love them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think it's good to have the right information out there because this there's so many misconceptions about pit bulls. Drives me nuts.
And it's like, you know, we've said it's all about like how you raise them and everything. And so like
Yes.
having the correct information will help you raise them in a
Yes,
way that's going to
exactly.
be like pro pit bull in the end.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so after all this stuff happened in the UK, immigrants eventually brought their pits to the US, and this is where we get the American Pit Bull Terrier. And at this time, they were really responsible for like herding and guarding livestock, protecting families against thieves and wild animals. And they were really just like known for their loyal and loving demeanor, and really became seen as like working class companions amongst other Americans. So at this time, they didn't have any like bad reputation, you know?
Yeah. Yep. They didn't have their bad connotation to the name. That's sad. We did this to them. I mean, I
Yeah.
knew that, but
Yeah.
frustrating.
And so even during World War One and World War Two, this was a fun fact. I did not know this. The U.S. mascot was actually a pit bull. And you can look this up and see a picture. There's like pit bulls with like American flag bandanas and like wearing a military hat and everything. So it's like they are really just an American icon, you know?
Can you imagine what the world would be like now if that would have stayed? My
Yeah.
heart, there would be no Denver pit bull ban.
Yeah.
They'd just be like the most beloved. They'd be like the golden retriever lab now.
Yeah, totally. That's definitely what you think of when you hear of like the all-American dog. It's like a golden
Yes.
retriever.
Yep, that's what
Yeah.
I would think of.
So I have like a fun little story anecdote
Okay.
of a pit bull at the time. His name was Sergeant Stubby, and he was actually the most decorated dog of World War One. And so you can look up his whole story. I could do an entire episode just about Sergeant Stubby, but here's a cute, like a few like highlights about his accolades, if you will.
Yeah.
So something really cute is he actually learned how to salute with his paw.
Oh my gosh. My heart.
So he ended up, you know, obviously going to war, which I don't know how great that is, but he was there and he did a lot of great things while he was there. So he became sensitive to like the smell of toxic gas, which meant that he was able to save like a lot of soldiers' lives because he would basically bark at them and like wake people up if he could start to smell the gas, like this toxic gas coming from German soldiers.
Their sense of smell is just like any dog. Their sense of smell is like we can't even fathom how good that
Right.
is, how good it is, like how strong, how sensitive it is. That's a whole other topic as well. I
Do you
feel
ever feel
like
bad about like lighting candles? I've thought
I
about this
have
before.
thought about that. Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
does Evie hate me right now because I'm
I
lighting a
know.
candle?
Or just like anything that's like I don't know. Does our laundry have too much to it or something?
True.
Or like I wash their blankets and they're like, well, now I don't like it because it doesn't smell like me or something. It smells
Do your
weird.
dogs like not use them right away out of the wash?
I mean, No, I guess not, but it's just like something that I think about.
About.
Like, I feel like there is a slight favoritism towards the ones that I haven't watched in a while, but I don't
I
have
mean, we
enough
know
data.
dogs love stinky things.
Well, yeah, and I don't have enough data to prove it yet, so I'll come back next time
All
and
right.
I'll have a full research report. Just
Um,
kidding.
where did I leave off in my notes? Oh, so Sergeant Stubby learned to differentiate between English and German speaking. And so he would be on the battlefield and he would find injured soldiers just based on like how they were speaking. Like he would know if they were an English or a German soldier. And so he would find the English speaking ones and like bark at them until help would arrive for them.
And he would just leave the German ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, whatever.
That's,
He was
yeah.
helping. He was
Yeah.
helping out.
Yes. Yeah,
He
totally.
would also whine when he heard incoming artillery shells, so that helped warn everybody. And he
Yeah.
once captured a German spy, again, because he like realized, he's speaking German. And this was what promoted him to the rank of sergeant.
Heck yeah. Smarty pants. Gosh. I want
Um,
to see a picture of him. Do you have a picture?
oh, yeah,
Or
I
can
mean,
I?
if you just look it up, Sergeant Stubby.
Sergeant.
He's like a
Sorry.
pretty small little guy. He's stubby, if you will.
Oh, buddy. He's so cute. Oh, he's got big eyes, too. Yeah, he looks like a Sergeant Stubby to me. Okay, sorry. I just had to look him up and see what he looked
Oh,
like.
that's great.
My heart. Okay.
Um, Okay, so then another like famous pit bull that you might know of is Petey from the Little Rascals. So he's
Yeah.
like that white dog with like the ring-eyed like circle around his eye. So the original Little Rascals, really quick, is actually a TV short called Our Gang that came out in the 1930s. It was like a little series.
Didn't know that.
And so I feel like that's why, like, because at this time, obviously, pit bulls had a good name for themselves. Whereas in 1994 was when the Little Rascals movie came out that I'm sure me and you are familiar with, and any other millennials out there. I don't know if a pit bull would have been used in that movie if they hadn't been used in the original. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. So it was more so that it was like
They had the
honored
same
the
cast.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oh, it was the exact same
Well,
dog. Or
no.
maybe not. Oh no, because it was the okay. Wait, sorry. The years 1994. What was the other one?
In the 1930s.
19. Okay, no, not the same dog. Sorry.
I
Yes,
also wanted. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
they just wanted to be true to the show
Yeah.
or like the short to the
Yeah.
okay.
So
to
that's.
the
I just
Little
wanted to point
Rascals.
that out.
Okay.
Do you happen to remember? Didn't you used to quote that like letter from the Little Rascals all the time? Dear
Yes.
Darla, I
I
hate your
hate your
stinking guts.
stinking guts. You make me vomit like scum between my toes. Love alfalfa.
Yes.
That
I remember
reminds me of
quoting that all the time.
my sisters and my cousin. We always said that a lot. I
That's
couldn't
cute.
tell you anything else really from that movie, but besides the
I remember
like,
I got two pickles, I got two pickles, I got two pickles, hey, hey, hey.
that's right.
And I
I
also remember,
forgot
what's
about
the
that.
number for 911?
Oh, I didn't know. Oh my God. See, yeah, you remember more than I do. That's
That's pretty much
hilarious.
it. That's the
Well,
limit
and
there.
that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. We got it down. I think you can get the gist of the movie based on those three things.
Yep. Okay, so just back at it, pit bulls were seen as sweethearts at this time, and that was my point with all that. And like Ouija boards, there was something in society that changed to
Ah,
change the cultural view of them. All right.
society.
So in 1976, Congress amended the Animal Welfare Act of 1966 to address dog fighting. And so then it became illegal in the entire country. And in most states today, possession of a dog for dog fighting is a felony offense, and it's also illegal to be a spectator. But unfortunately, after this, there was actually like a reemergence of dog fighting. So it just kind of felt like it kind of unfortunately had like the opposite effect.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's so tricky because it's like, obviously this needs to be illegal. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I don't know. It's just tricky.
Like they couldn't have foreseen that that was going to be the outcome. They went into
Right.
it with like good intentions to prevent this from happening, but then they didn't realize it just ignited it even more.
Yeah, like
I
it just
guess,
kind of
which is
made it.
weird.
Yeah. So, anyways, in the 1980s, dogfighting just kind of really started to popularize again. And there's just like a lot of underground fighting rings. And unfortunately, this also led to a lot of backyard breeding. And so, like I mentioned before, pit bulls were actually bred, to be kind to humans and just like have good temperament. But because of all the backyard breeding, like they weren't really being bred for the good reasons. And also they weren't being like spayed or neutered.
Yeah.
And 84% of all like fatal dog attacks involve intact dogs. So intact meaning that the dog wasn't spayed or neutered.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I will die on that hill. You need to spay and neuter your dogs,
I know that's
no
one of
matter
those
what.
things where it's like when you see a dog that
That's
hasn't,
not.
and you're just like, oh, bro,
There's
like,
so many
don't do that.
misconceptions about
And
that
like,
too.
there's so
Like,
many like free spay and neuter clinics too. Like, just go do
or
it.
low cost. Yeah, at least low cost for
Right.
sure. There's no reason not to. There really isn't. I mean, at the humane societies, we would,
Yeah, they do it.
as long as they were of weight, you have to wait till a certain amount of, like, I think it's like 8 pounds or
Hmm.
something, depending on the breed. They got spayed or neutered, like,
Yeah.
because there's no
Well, and
reason
even if
for
they
it.
would adopt out a puppy, I think you could come back.
Yes, yep. And that's what we had to do with Rue. Or no, we had to sign a waiver saying that we would get her spayed, actually. So
Oh,
the
yeah, I guess
deal
that's
that you get,
tricky because they can't know if you're going to
yeah,
come back or not. Okay, so what
we
were you
had
going
to
to say?
prove it. We had to prove it to them that we
Okay.
got her spayed. But that's why like a humane society dog like is I'm sorry, like I don't want to be like they're discount dogs, but like they are such a good deal
Oh, yeah, for
because
sure.
spaying and neutering costs the same amount it cost us, actually more than it cost us to just adopt Rue, you know?
Hmm.
And you get that for you get a dog for like $350
Yeah.
at a
And sometimes they'll have deals. Like sometimes they're like,
yes.
it's clear the shelter week. All dogs are
Yeah.
free.
But then that makes me nervous too, because
I
if they're
know.
too free, then not the
People
right
get them for the
people.
wrong reasons and
If they're
everything.
too free.
Well, you need to prove that you are able to spend money on a dog because if they just give
Yes.
away a dog to anybody, then it's like, well, how do we even know that you're going to have the money to feed the dog or take care of vet bills
Yes.
in the future, all of those things. So
Yep. Exactly. Because they
it
are
makes sense.
expensive and they're a commitment. But yeah, spay and neuter your dogs and cats
Hmm.
and wildlife. I don't know.
Okay, so anyways, backyard breeding, bad news at the time. It was just kind of seen as like a way to make a profit. Also, like if people, were low income and they needed to make some extra money, just breed some pit bulls. And so then at this time, there was an article in Time magazine in 1987 called The Pit Bull Friend and Killer. And, basically just talked about how pit bulls are bad. And this really like started the media portraying pit bulls as just like this dangerous creature and that pit bulls are just always associated with criminals and poverty. Then there was like another article in Sports Illustrated in the same year, 1987, called Beware of This Dog. And there's like, the cover is just like this really vicious looking pit bull, like growling. You know what I mean?
Curse those magazines
Yes.
or news articles.
So those are kind of seen as like some of the turning points in US culture of like how this became so popularized to hate on pit bulls. But then also, unfortunately, there are some, stories of pit bulls like attacking children fatally. And those stories just kind of really blew up in the media at the time, or the US culture was not a fan of pit bulls at the time.
Yeah, they turned their backs on them.
Yeah. So in 2007, Michael Vick's dog kennel was raided.
I remember this.
Yeah, like I vaguely do too. Like I don't remember it in great detail, but it's like I don't know if you hear the name Michael Vick, like that that's what he did.
Dog fighting. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
say one of my aunts, shout out, I think that she did some sort of like donation or there was something
Okay.
that we did together with their dogs, or maybe there was a
Aw.
story that we helped, or that like, that, I don't know, we kind of helped share the news about it because I
Interesting.
remember
Okay.
that.
So, well, it's interesting you say like you helped share the news because basically the media kind of started portraying pit bulls in a better light at this time because 48 out of 51 of the dogs from that kennel were able to be rehabilitated and like find homes. And so
Good.
Sports Illustrated did another article in 2008. So this is, that's 20 years later. Their original article, Sports Illustrated came out with an article called The Good News Out of the Bad News Kennels. And so, yeah, that's basically where they just kind of portrayed pit bulls in a better light. And the picture this time that they used instead of like a vicious growling pit bull was just like a nice little happy, calm one.
Yeah. So they tried to redeem themselves from their
Yes.
120-ish years ago. Yeah. Okay.
And so I know we've already talked about a little bit as well that pit bulls unfortunately are banned in a lot of places. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that really quick. I think sometimes people don't even realize like how many places they've been banned. And so they are currently illegal in 29 countries. I won't list all of them, but some that I just thought were interesting and maybe surprising are Denmark, France, Switzerland, Norway, Finland, Ireland, and New Zealand. So, you know, if you, for whatever reason, might be trying to look at moving to a different country.
What reason would that be?
I don't know. Just be aware that if you have a pit bull, none of those countries are good for you.
Can you send me that full list so I can take a look with my
the
two pit bulls?
The sources will include this list.
All right.
And then there's another 9 countries that are on this list, and pit bulls are like banned, but it varies by region.
Okay.
Some of those include China, Japan, Australia, and Canada. And Canada for me was like one of the big ones that was sad.
Yeah.
When I just for whatever reason was looking this up in 2020.
In 2016, 2020, and 2024.
Yeah.
We're looking it up.
But anyways, so some of the restrictions in Canada were lifted in 2021 in Ontario specifically. So I was happy to hear that because I remember looking this up, like I said, in 2020, and it was like really extreme. Like they were saying, you know, if you cross the border with a pit bull, like they would just take your pit bull. And so there's also like various cities, like I've already mentioned, in the US that have pit bull bans. And so Denver was one of the strictest. And like I mentioned, I lived there for 6 years. This ban came into effect in 1989. So that's, you know, really when all of that media coverage was like prime relevant. And basically it banned ownership, breeding, and harboring of pit bulls within city limits. Fortunately, sort of, in 2020, the law was repealed, but it's still very restrictive. So you're still required to like obtain a special license if you have a pit bull, and like there's certain limitations, like you can only have 2, and like you have to be like personally evaluated, like your home has to be looked at, all of that in order for you to get that license.
Is it also, I think that your home insurance is higher if you have a pit bull. They charge more if you have a pit bull, if you're, you know, a homeowner in that sense. Yeah, I don't get it.
And they're often restricted from apartments due to like insurance reasons as well, or just landlord preferences as well.
Yep.
Okay, so I wanted to go over some myths about pit bulls. We already mentioned the nanny dog one. Is there any like, I feel like there's just like a really famous myth about pit bulls.
The lockjaw.
Yes, the lockjaw.
They say that pit bulls' jaws will like lock and not be able to become undone essentially. Yeah, they can't do it. It's like they're stuck.
Yeah,
it's not
totally
true.
a myth. Like it literally doesn't make sense. If you look at the skull of a pit bull, it's literally the same as the skull of any other dog. There's no like special mechanism or enzyme or whatever that's going to make their jaw lock. What we will say is obviously pit bulls have a strong bite, okay? It's not the strongest of all dog breeds. German Shepherds are stronger, and a couple other breeds. And again, pit bull's not even a breed, so I'm talking about like all the different pit bull breeds and mixes, whatever. But they do have a strong bite. It's going to do damage if they want to. And the thing about pit bulls is that they're determined. So like if they want to bite, they're going to bite, okay? They might not want to like give up whatever they're trying to get.
Yeah.
But it does not a lock jaw.
Yeah.
That's a myth. Another myth is that they're naturally aggressive and that if they don't like dogs, they won't like people. Both of those are just myths. They're generally only people aggressive if they were bred that way or like poorly bred, like I said.
Or bad experiences.
Yeah.
With people. Yeah.
But another thing that I found is like even if a pit bull had like
Not
bad
always.
experiences,
Yeah.
like they can be just like so forgiving and like still love people even if they had a bad experience, you know?
And that's just the same for any dog. Like if any dog has a bad experience, they may or may not have issues with people going forward. It's just like humans. Maybe it affects you more than other people, maybe it doesn't. And I just don't understand why that's so hard to realize, you know?
And then also, what I was going to say is that dog and people aggression are two different traits. So just because a dog has, aggression towards other dogs doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be like aggressive towards people and the other way around, which kind of goes back to like what you were saying before, right?
Yeah, like with the Humane Society, how with pit bulls or anything that looked like a pit bull, they had to be good with both people and dogs. Yeah, those are two completely separate, different things. But yeah, then the golden that was bad with dogs is fine to be adopted.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
And then another myth is that it's dangerous to adopt a pit bull with an unknown history. So like, I feel like that just kind of goes with like adopting in general. Like one of the things that I feel like people will say why they don't want to adopt a dog is because it's like, I don't know, they don't know their history and that scares them and everything. And it's like, you also don't necessarily know like the history of like the breeder or I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
As much as they sell themselves, the breeders will like say like, oh, this is a AKC, whatever, purebred, all this stuff, which is, I'm sure there are good breeders out there, but that doesn't mean that, yeah, you don't know their full story. And genetics, as we know, there's nature versus nurture. So,
and the other thing is like a lot of times shelters do know the story.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's a stray or whatever. But like sometimes they know, like, this dog belonged to this person that just couldn't take care of it anymore. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, because we like in a surrender situation, we would ask for like a full history, and I mean 90% of people would like wanted to fill that out to help them, help us get to know them so we can adopt it. Yeah, we can adopt them out, which I think is a good thing to do. It's just more information, the better, for sure.
And then the last myth I was going to talk about is just that like pit bulls can snap like unexpectedly. So it's like all of a sudden 1 second the pit bull's happy and the next second they're just biting or you know what I mean? And it's basically that's just a total myth. There's no dog that's unpredictable. Dogs have communication as well. They use body language. And if you get a dog, look at any diagram of body language, look up any video of body language for dogs. They are predictable, okay?
Yeah, they communicate in their way.
There's always things that happen, right?
Yes.
And so sorry, I'm not trying to say that like you're going to be perfect. I have my cat bite scars and I know like you've got history of things that have happened as well.
Yep.
But what I'm just trying to say is that dogs do communicate.
Yes.
And
you
sorry, you can say whatever you wanted to say.
Yeah, and that people need to know those things because I'm just going to mention really quick a couple things because
Great, do it.
You're remiss without. They will often be more tense if they're, and it may not look like they are freaked out or anything like that. They may have they may be like panting, but if they're just kind of a little bit more tense, that's one thing. The whale eye. So if you see the white of a dog's eye, and it's like a big eye, it doesn't, that's also communicating that they're uncomfortable. They'll often have so many warning signs, like even just like a little just like quick snarl is like, it's quick so it's easy to miss, but those are so important. The whale eye's the big one. Yeah, the snarl, ears back sometimes, but also a wagging tail does not mean they're happy every time. That's another big myth about dogs in general. But do you know of any more like warning signs that dogs will do?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like, and it's hard because some of the body language things are mixed. So like you said, like wagging the tail is not always happy. Another one is like, when their hair stands on their neck or whatever.
Their hackles. And their hackles.
Yeah, like Evie would get that sometimes. It was really interesting.
Yeah, Ellie and Rue
but
both
like
do
I
too.
saw something online that said like that's not always a bad thing too.
Yeah, it could just be that they're like interested or like excited, basically. But
so get to know your dog and look up the videos so you kind of know these things ahead of time. I think sometimes people just don't even know. Like me and you have been really exposed to these things because of jobs that we've had. But it's not necessarily common knowledge.
It's not, and it's so unfair to them. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. But like these dogs, learn our language in a lot of ways of when we're happy, when we're sad, how to sit when we say sit, different languages like, German versus English. We need to spend a little bit of time to learn their
True.
language,
I think that's a
That's
really good
another
way to put it.
other hill I'll die on too. Just spend a little bit of time and get to know the breed too, because if it is even if it's a purebred husky, it may not act like a purebred husky, but at least going into it, or considering it, what are the common things that other people have experienced. I think that and every breed's a little bit different, but every single dog is different. Personalities
Right.
are going to shift from one to the other.
So I really, really, really wanted to give you a list of like, these are the dogs that actually bite the most. But again, I'm trying to be truthful and not give biased information. I could
Yeah.
not, for the life of me, find a list that was not biased. And have you ever heard that stat where it's like, actually, dachshunds bite the most?
I
Or
haven't heard
chihuahuas.
dachshunds. I've heard
I've always heard
chihuahuas.
dachshunds and chihuahuas bite the most, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything anywhere that had that wasn't just some like weird random like BuzzFeed type article. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't
Yeah.
want to include that in my sources. And I was thinking about it a little bit, and I feel like that would actually be hard because that would only be reported bites. And obviously, like Doodle the poodle. So Doodle was my 5-pound poodle. She was my first dog. She was my childhood dog. Loved her. She was a vicious little girl, and she bit. She bit a lot. Did any of those get reported? No. You know what I
No.
mean? Because like she was a 5-pound dog, so like yeah, her bites drew some blood a couple times, but
Right.
it wasn't bad enough for somebody to go get stitches or like have to report it. So I don't know. I don't have a list for you of like these dogs bite the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is there was this stat that I found all over the place that was like 66% of all fatalities related to dog bites are from pit bulls. And I did see that in quite a few places.
No.
And so I'm getting into it a little bit.
I know,
Just
no, I know.
yeah. They, like I said before, they do have a strong bite. Like it makes sense. Like they are an animal, they are strong. If they do want to do some damage, they can. Like
Yes.
I'm not gonna try to sit here and be like, no, they're. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna try to sit here and lie.
Yeah. I mean, their weight and their size, like, that's the norm for that size, I feel like, is to have a powerful bite in general, whether that's a pit bull or even like a lab, probably similar sizes in terms of
Yeah.
like weight and yeah.
And well, like I said, German Shepherd was like.
And German Shepherd.
I think they
yeah.
were close to there was some like, what PSI is, right? Like
Yes.
it's like the strength of like a bite or like a grab. And I think German Shepherds were either like really close to pit bulls or they were stronger than pit bulls. But
Okay.
and that's another like classic dog that people have.
Yeah. For sure.
So anyways, I didn't really like this stat. Like there was just something that felt off about it with me.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you look a little bit further, it's because it's like 66% of fatalities like are pit bulls, but pit bull is not a breed.
Breed.
Okay? And so you can't just lump a bunch of different dogs together and say that do you know what I mean? Like that's not fair. That doesn't make sense.
Yep.
And so if you do a little bit more digging, so 12.7% are actually responsible if you're looking at those 4 pit bull dog breeds that I mentioned
Okay.
before. 59.3% are just mixed breeds in general. Dog fatalities are just mixed breeds in general. And like I said before, 98% of all pit bulls are just mixed breed dogs. So they're not
Yeah.
necessarily a specific pit bull. Your dogs, I was going to bring you into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Your dogs, you did the DNA testing. Was just one of them a pit bull technically, or were both? I can't remember.
No, they both were.
both.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're both. Well, nope, not for insurance reasons.
Okay. Do you not want to include this?
No, I mean it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Oh, I was just going to ask, like, what else were they mixed with?
Boxer
Okay.
Ellie's boxer, Pitty, and gosh, I can't even remember. Those were the two big ones. She was actually more boxer than anything else, and all of the
Okay.
relatives that come up for her, because if other people register their dogs, they're all like purebred boxers. So
Oh,
that's interesting.
interesting.
I
I didn't
know.
know that you could like link their like it's like ancestry.com, but with
Yeah,
dogs.
it is.
That's
It's like,
really
oh,
interesting. I didn't know that.
Ellie has a new second cousin or something that comes through. It's so fun.
That's
But
cute.
Rue is actually more Pitty than Ellie, and
Okay.
Ellie looks like a classic Pit with her
Mm-hmm.
bigger head. She's got the divot and she's got the smile. Rue
Mm-hmm.
has like a longer nose,
Yeah.
and she is more pit bull than Ellie, which was surprising to
Mm-hmm.
us. But she's
I feel
also a
like she's kind of like
shepherd.
stockier a little bit.
Ellie's stockier. Ellie's more like
Wait,
muscle and
I
short.
feel like I get them mixed up sometimes. Okay,
Oh,
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. No, that's okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Ellie's
Okay.
the older one. Rue's the one that it was her birthday the other day. So Rue,
Right.
she is more
Okay.
Pitty than
Right,
Ellie.
right, right, right. Okay.
Is that what you were thinking? Than Ellie that looks like
Yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Got you,
Yeah.
got you.
Yep, yep. So I was surprised by that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's also mixed with Shepherd. And I want to say a few others. She was kind of a Mod Podge. And
Mm-hmm.
even like 3%, I think it just said like mutt or like mixed
Mm-hmm.
breed or something like that
Yeah.
of just, they don't,
Just whatever.
just a
So
mix.
basically why I wanted to bring that up is
Yeah.
because let's say that the unfortunate circumstance happens where one of your dogs kills somebody
Oh,
from
God.
biting them
Yeah.
and it's reported. What do you think it's going to get reported as? Do you think it's going to get reported as a pit bull fatality, a mixed breed fatality, or a boxer fatality? You know what I mean? Like they're going to be
It's
like
going to
pit
be
bull.
purple. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's why
100%.
that is so skewed because it's like there's just like a lot of mixed breeds out there,
Because
you know?
the media wants to find, yeah, the scapegoat or the villain
Mm-hmm.
in the story. And I feel like that same thing could apply to a lot of the news today with humans.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop there.
Well, it's actually funny because I'm about to get a little political.
Okay. All right. And let's
Um,
keep going.
Okay, so there's, according to the CDC reports, this is what I was remembering. So the CDC reports there's an average of 43 dog fatalities per year in the US.
Okay.
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 That sounds like a lot, right? Like 43
Yeah.
deaths due to dogs. Like, yeah, that's a lot. That's sad. But on average, there's 110 insect and arthropod deaths per year in the US. So
Okay.
insects are
Spider?
more deadly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Arthropods.
arthropods. Yeah,
Arthropods
spiders
are
would fall under that. Okay, side
Speeders.
note, I get
Yeah.
really annoyed that people don't know the difference between like insects and spiders and like
Yeah.
bugs.
And like
People just
worms.
call all bugs insects. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
like
like,
a worm's
bro,
not an insect.
yeah, no, it's not. Like that's crazy.
You want to.
You're gonna fight them? It's just a
What'd
pet
you
peeve
just
of
say?
mine.
I know, I know. Agreed.
Okay, so this is where I'm getting political. You ready?
Okay,
So-
yep.
I
Always
had to
ready
look
for
this
this. Okay.
Okay. So 43 dog fatalities per year. And
Okay.
mind you, that's any aged
Yep.
person. In 2024, there were 16,576 firearm deaths in the US. And 5,151 of those were children and teens. And so this
It's
is where
the
I'm getting
number-
political because it's just like, what the fuck, US? You want to get
Yeah.
all pissed off at pit bulls, but you don't want to get pissed off about guns? Are
Exactly.
you for real right now?
It's
That's
like
my-
literally guns are the number one cause of death of children under
Yeah.
like 10 or something like that, isn't
But
it?
you want to judge me for having my toddler around a pit bull? Really?
Exactly. Really?
Really? Yeah,
I just want
again. Erin's holding up her fist for anyone just listening.
Yeah, sorry. I forget sometimes that this is also
I know.
just an audio.
So yeah, it just makes me angry. That's all I have to say about that. And if you don't understand, I don't know what to tell you. Some other things that are similar is like there's 43,273 average motor vehicle accident deaths per year in the US. So again, it's like it's more dangerous to go drive in your car than it is to have a pit bull or any
Yep.
dog.
Yeah.
And the risk of being fatally attacked by any dog, any breed, is 0.00001%. Aaron's snapping.
I'm snapping. Sorry, I'm doing a lot. Say that again. What? How many zeros was that?
0.0000. Wait, now I have to count. 0.00001%. So yeah.
So any death is horrible, but they are not the problem.
And it just kind of reminds me of like, people are really afraid of like flying in planes. And I
Yeah.
get it. Like, it's kind of scary.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
personally, it doesn't really bother me, but I understand the fear. But it's like, we have all heard those stats too, where it's like, it's so much safer. I mean, maybe not anymore with how many plane crashes there's been lately, but sorry.
Air air traffic controllers are dwindling.
Anyways, still safer to fly than it is to be in a car, and it's similar.
Yeah,
It's like,
you're more statistically likely to get in a car accident and die on the way to the airport than you are
right.
to die of a plane crash, right?
Right. And so, to end on a better note, I wanted to just explain why they're awesome. They are just incredibly affectionate. They're just little snuggle bugs. They're great with kids. This is where I was going to tell you that nanny dog is a myth,
Yep.
even though they are great with kids. They're highly intelligent. They love to learn tricks. Evie personally knew how to. She could sit, she could bow, she could spin, she could lay down, she could play dead, she could touch, like where you hold out your hand and then like touch, your nose. She could shake. So yeah,
My
that's the
girls are
difference.
slacking. I gotta.
Before Leon was born, I would just be like bored on a random night, like, Evie, it's time to learn a new trick, and we would just I would watch a YouTube video on how to do it and then just teach her by the end of the
Oh.
night. So, and they're, good at doing agility courses. They can be therapy and service dogs, canine police dogs. And I really quickly wanted to just share a couple really like fun, lighthearted stories. So, a couple just like heartwarming, that's the word I'm looking for, heartwarming stories about pit bulls. So, in 2015, let's see, Elliot Nerland fell on his couch during a heart attack while his wife, Erin, was sleeping in the bedroom. And their pit bull, Sweet D, ran into the bedroom barking to wake up Erin. And so she was able to wake up Erin in enough time for her to call 911 and do CPR. And so thanks to Sweet D, Elliot is still alive.
Oh, smarty pants. See? Lifesavers.
And then another one, this one's crazy. So Rhonda and Evelyn Westenberger, who are sisters, they escaped from a fire in their home thanks to their pit bull named Baby, who nudged them and barked to wake them up in time. And like by this time, the house was already like in flames. Okay, so like they just got out in time. But thanks to Baby, they were able to get out. But they had 5 other dogs in the house, and Baby went in and got them all. And one of them was even like hiding under the bed, and Baby dragged that dog out.
No way. A
so
hero.
A hero.
Make her a sergeant, too.
True. And then just like a couple, I enjoyed your pop culture references last week with Emmy and Grant. So here's some celebrities that are pit bull advocates that have pit bulls that they love and they share. Are Kaylee Cuoco from, what was that? The Big Bang Theory. There we go.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy, Rachel Ray, and Chris Evans. And then also another throwback or recall for you, Arian, is I just wanted to end with a little Jane Goodall quote.
My heart.
So this was a fun fact. I don't know if you knew this, but she says like a lot of people think that her favorite animal is a chimpanzee, but it's actually dogs. And she will go on and on about how much she loves dogs. And so her little quote is, "Dogs are so faithful and dogs give unconditional love, and I don't like to think of a world without dogs."
Rest in peace, Dr. Jane Goodall. We need more of her. I love that, though.
That's Pitties.
I love Pitties so much. I just think I just need to stress the importance of treating each dog, no matter their breed, as an individual. That's 100% what it is. Because there are I don't even like using bad, but there are, situations where they did kill somebody or something like that. But same thing with a German Shepherd or a mix or a Have you met an Australian Shepherd? Those guys are crazy for the most part. But then treat them like an individual because they might not be crazy. And now I'm like contradicting myself.
There's like breed generalizations, I guess, but like they are also individuals.
Yes. Like it's important to know their breed and like tendencies, but they may not have any. I literally adopted out a Chihuahua to be a young boy who had autism, like a therapy dog.
Aw, so
He was
sweet.
like the littlest Chihuahua, and I had bad experiences with Chihuahuas
Mm-hmm.
up until that point, and he was just so sweet. He was calm, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
like a few months later, the mom came back in and donated some stuff, and she's like, he's been the greatest thing for
Aw.
our son. So you just really, you have to just treat them as
Mm-hmm.
individuals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
They're
adopt a
sweet.
dog. Bye.
I know that's how I feel too. I feel my heart has been warmed full with pit bulls. I love them so much. Like
Seriously.
I often I don't know, I'll peruse like the shelters. Like I like a lot
Yeah.
of shelters on Facebook and everything, and like I'll see, they'll be like, "Oh, these are our available dogs." And I'm like,
Yep.
"Look at these ones. They're so cute." They're mostly pit bulls. And that's why it's like I don't like whenever we get another dog, it's like it's got to be a pit bull. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I can't like I think that other dogs are adorable and I love them, but pit bulls are life for me. I
Yeah.
love them so much. Like just seeing their
And
happy little faces, I can't. It's crazy.
can you imagine a pit bull and an Iggy next to each other?
That's the dream.
That's the dream. I
They're
know.
spooning.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping the pit bulls keeping the Iggy warm because they're always
Oh
like
my God.
shaking and cold.
Yeah, that would be so cute.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love Pitties
Um,
so much.
did you, what were your like animal guesses? I feel like you didn't even get to guess like what I was going to talk about.
Well, I thought about owls and
Okay.
hedgehogs at first.
Okay.
And then when I saw, I only could see the ears, so I
Yeah, I
was
was
like, that's,
surprised you even like knew what was on my shirt.
but I couldn't tell what it was. I honestly thought it was like a wolf or something like that, but
Oh,
I
okay.
was like, Danny's never really talked that much about wolves before, but
Dude,
maybe.
we
I
adopted
mean,
wolves when we were kids, so
shout out to my aunt again. Yeah, she helped
hmm
us with that. That was so fun.
Peter and
Princess.
Princess,
Yeah, you
and they
remember
were
Peter?
together.
Yeah, they were.
If
And I'm
anyone's
not
confused, there was like a wolf reserve. Is that what you call it?
sanctuary.
Sanctuary, wolf
Yeah.
sanctuary somewhere in Wisconsin,
Yeah, I can't
Green
even
Bay or
remember where it
something. I
was.
don't know.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere that way.
And yeah, your aunt got us hooked up with that, and like, so we would like sponsor them. But in my mind, that meant like they were my pet.
Yeah, we adopted them.
Yes,
Princess was mine,
and Peter
obviously.
was mine.
Yeah, but I think honestly, like, anybody could sponsor them, and
Oh,
then
sure,
it just
yeah, of
went,
course.
obviously went to their care and all of that, and they stayed in one spot. But we did get to meet them once. Were
We
you
didn't
there
get to
with me?
like pet them. Did you
Not
pet them?
not pet them, but we got to see them in person, or I
Well,
did.
yeah, like I remember going there.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was like a zoo. You know what I mean? Like you saw them in
Yeah.
their cage. I thought you were about to tell me you like got to snuggle Princess or something. I'm like,
You were
that's
gonna
crazy.
you're gonna fight me. And they're definitely still alive.
Yep. Going strong.
Oh, nice.
All
I
right.
liked that. That was a good
Good.
topic. I love
Good.
pitties.
I want everybody, if you can, to rate our podcast. I've seen that we've been getting some ratings, and that makes me excited. So if you haven't done it yet, please give us a rating and follow us and subscribe to wherever you're listening, because I
Yeah.
love seeing those numbers go up.
Me too. Yeah. And as we always talk about, we've got an Instagram, a TikTok, an email. So that'll all be in the description of this episode and every episode. But yeah, make sure to find us there. We just want to keep going. So hopefully people are enjoying this. Well, that was fun. And that's it for this week's rabbit hole. Next week, honestly, I don't know yet. So we'll see where we end up. But tell us what you're hyperfixated on. Again, drop it in the comments or DM us, send us an email. Let your pit bull know, and it'll
Aw.
run to our houses and
Tell your dog I said hi.
tell your
That's
dog I
from
said hi.
So We Rate Dogs. They're on TikTok and YouTube, and I love them.
Yeah, and also boop your dog's nose. Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, anyway, your topic may make it into a future episode. So until then, embrace the spiral, stay curious, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.